We have a quorum with Chairman Towns and Ms. Zucker present. Is there a motion to call the 303rd meeting of the members of the Housing Trust Fund Corporation?
So moved.
Second.
The first item on the agenda is the approval of the minutes of the 302nd meeting held on January 29, 2014. If there are no questions or comments, the minutes are deemed approved. The second item on the agenda is a resolution approving the transfer and assignment of the Housing Choice Voucher Program from the Town of Oyster Bay to the Housing Trust Fund Corporation. Mr. Smith could not be here, but this is the transfer of a 50-unit voucher program from the Town of Oyster Bay to HTFC's program, which is over 44,000 units. If there are any questions, I'm glad to relay them to Mr. Smith and have him respond to you, but are there any questions on this item?
Not for me.
Is there a motion to adopt this resolution?
So moved.
Second.
The motion is carried. The third item on the agenda is a resolution approving Public Housing Modernization Drug Elimination Program awards. Ms. Rosen will be presenting this item.
How do you do?
Good morning.
Morning.
Good morning. Okay, our public housing projects have been plagued with violent crime and related to drugs. The Public Housing Modernization Program, drug elimination portion, is a $400,000 annual grant, which comes out of the MOD funding, and it's been about since 1991, I believe, and it's been pretty effective. This year, we are awarding a little bit more because of some recaptures and some funding that wasn't allocated before. So we had $1,397,586 to award, and we awarded all of that money. And it was by means of, we did into a NOFA. We have a diminishing eligible universe here. So we had about 12 eligible public housing projects, and among them there are several developments. And so we asked them to send us an application, which was modeled on the NOFA, but a little less competitive and structured than the NOFA. Out of those applications, we were actually very aggressive. We visited all these projects. We took pictures. We actually vetted what they were asking. Awards were given based on the need, based on past experience with loans and grants, because some of these housing authorities are not sophisticated and have old money that they haven't used, and yet they're applying for new money. So we were really tough on that. You know, you're making them use the old money and vetting the projects. Would you like me to go down the list of what the projects are? Okay, it's in this memorandum and the resolution.
I just have one question. It seems some require some amount of matching funds, and some, if it's not mentioned, there was no contribution.
These were public housing authorities. Most of them really have little or no money. Where there was money available, we asked them to match.
Okay.
Where they have no money and no other source of funding,
Understood.
we were tough, actually, this time.
We appreciate your efficient use of our resources.
Yes.
Are there any other questions? Assuming the same, should we hold off to wait to see if Salem?
Can you guys still hear us?
Yes.
Okay.
We'll just maybe disregard that, but
Okay.
assuming the same first and second is previously submitted, all in favor of adopting this resolution, please say aye.
Aye.
The motion is carried.
Thank you.
Thank you. Item number 4 is a resolution adopting the Project Sunlight policy guidelines.
Yeah, the Public Integrity Reform Act of 2011 enacted the Project Sunlight. It's to have a public database to record who's interacting with the government. It's in 5 different areas. The 2 areas most relevant to the trust fund are procurement and regulatory matters. With respect to procurement, my conversations with the Council's office is that procurement does not cover the capital program, so we don't need to report this for the capital programs. The law is somewhat complicated. I've attached the documents here. We have Amy Zamanek, an attorney in Albany, who can answer questions. and Alex Villela here at Lexington who can answer questions. So I'm recommending that the agency adopt a policy and compliance plan. This is separate from the lobbying policy, so I've done it through a separate document.
And this brings the Housing Trust Fund and the other corporations under the umbrella.
Yes, yes.
Are there any questions on this? Assuming the same first and second as previously submitted, all in favor of adopting this resolution, please say aye.
Aye.
The motion is carried. Item number 5 is a resolution approving the secret documentation and classification of the environmental impact of the Sheraton Hollow Village project. Ms. Pittsburgh.
Good morning, everyone. This morning, I present to you the Sheraton Hollow Village project, which is sponsored by Housing Visions Consultants, Inc. It is receiving HTF and UI funds. It's for the new construction of 57 units and 17 buildings on scattered sites in the city of Albany's Sheraton Hollow neighborhood. This morning, I recommend that the board declare this an unlisted action and issue a negative declaration under seeker. If you have any questions, I'd be happy to take them at this time.
There are no. Assuming the same first and second as previously submitted, all in favor of adopting this resolution, please say aye.
Aye.
The motion is carried. Item number 6 is a resolution engaging Saks BST. Saks BST is the product of a merger, which was formerly Bolam, Sheedy, Tarani and Company, to perform the annual audit for the 2013 to 2014 fiscal year. I've also given the members the engagement letter today for you to review, but it has not been signed off on. It's pending your approval. Ms. Hunter will be presenting this.
Yes, we're bringing to you for approval the engagement of Saks BST for the fiscal year ending March 31st, 2014. This would be the 5th year of the engagement with BST. We've had a positive experience with them to date. The amount of the engagement remains $25,000. We have a plan for their coming into the agency the first week of May, and we hope to have the engagement completed and for the June board meeting for the issuance of our financial statements. If you have any questions, I'm happy to entertain them.
Go ahead.
Other than the timing, are there any other changes from previous years?
The audit will be similar as in the past, although we have explained to them that their scope may be covering the disaster funds. So they're looking at at what they're going to need to do with that, and they may plan some on-site work at Beaver Street to look at that program that's new to us this year.
Okay.
That's my question.
Oh, okay.
Assuming the same first and second as previously submitted, all in favor of adopting this resolution, please say aye.
Aye.
The motion is carried. Item number 7 is a resolution approving awards from the Medicaid Redesign Team program. We actually have in total 5 awards, but 2 of them are introduced as new business. We'll do them perhaps after the first 3. The first 3 are for 255 East 138th Street Apartments, Canva Gardens Phase 2, and the Cove on the Concourse. Mr. Garwood, the present.
Yeah, thank you. Just a little bit of context. As you know, we've had 2 tranches of MRT capital for which we've have put out RFPs. Combined, these next 5 resolutions will fully allocate our second tranche. We anticipate getting another MRT capital allocation. We'll put it back out to RFP as soon as we can and continue this program. As already described, these 5 projects are all integrated housing projects under MRT, and I'll quickly go through the first 3. The first one is East 138th Street in the Bronx, requesting $3.75 million of MRT allocation. It's a $43.4 million project. It's a total of new construction of 9 units. It's not only integrated but mixed income. Some of the units go up to 80%. 30 units will be for individuals with severe or persistent mental illnesses. 20 units are set aside between 60 and 80% of AMI, and the remaining 48 are normal affordable housing under 60%. It'll be seeking a SLIC allocation as well, helping it to be mixed income. The applicant is Latier Construction. The second project, Campbell Gardens, is a substantial project in Brooklyn. It's a $90.6 million project seeking $5 million of MRT funds. It's 293 units in total on Winthrop Street. All the projects, or all the units, will be affordable to people earning less than 60% of AMI, with 182 for individuals with severe or persistent mental illness. Campbell Housing Ventures is the entity that will be completing the project with a service provider of Church Avenue Merchants Association. The third project, Cove on the Concourse, is a 50-unit project, again in the Bronx. This one is also an integrated project, but also mixed income. It's an $18.1 million project. It's seeking $1.875 million in MRT funding. It's on Carroll Place. It's going to have 21 units that are below 60% of median income. The affordable units, 15 units for individuals with mental illness, and 25 units of middle income housing. The entity is Storberg Companies, and it's the supportive services will be provided for the Association of Rehabilitative Case Management and Housing. And again, this one's going to be seeking a SLIC allocation as well. So that's the first three as part of the first resolution.
Are there any questions on these two projects?
Glad to see our first Brooklyn MRT deal.
Assuming the same first and second as previously submitted, all in favor of adopting this resolution, please say aye.
Aye.
The motion is carried. Mr. Garwood, if you'd like to stay to present the two new business items, the two new MRT awards, please
Sure.
do so.
Yeah, again, these are the two of the remaining five that'll completely allocate our existing MRT allocation. The first one is on Webster Avenue. It's in the Bronx. It's a $54.1 million project, and it's seeking $2.8 million of MRT funding. It's a total of 170 units. All the units will be affordable to people earning under 60% of median income, with 80 of them available to individuals who are homeless with severe or persistent mental illness. 89 of the remaining units will again be affordable. The project will be controlled by Common Ground with supportive services conducted by the Center for Urban Community Services. And then finally, the last project is 111 East 172nd Street. It's a $46.3 million project seeking $4.5 million of MRT funding. 133 units, all affordable to people earning 60% of median income. 68 of the units will be available to people with persistent mental illnesses, and the remaining 64 units will be affordable. It's a community access project with services also provided by Community Access. I think these last two, it's also kind of worth noting that it represents a little bit of a shift of the MRT funding. When we put out our MRT funding, it was really targeted to projects that were going to receive a service award through the New York 3 program, which is now winding down. So this starts kind of a handoff of continuing the program while still benefiting the same population. Those supportive services will be coming from a different source, same State Department. And that's it.
Are there any questions on this item? Assuming the same first and second as previously submitted, all in favor of adopting this item, please say aye.
Aye.
Thank you. The motion is carried. The remainder of the items are informational items and do not require board action. Numbers 8 and 9 are the board self-evaluation and the mission statement.
Right.
Mr. Klein.
I would ask the board to look at the mission statement between now and when we vote on it and consider whether or not you wish to add storm recovery or something of that nature. When this was adopted, we were at a different position, but the question has been raised. I don't make a recommendation one way or the other, but you may want to consider it.
What's the timing, Gary?
These we all have to do by June, June
I actually,
30th,
yes, it was, I think it's
but
60 days out.
we request by May 31st that we take care of this. This starts the annual parade of different requirements we have to make, and these are the easier ones, I think.
Maybe we consider something broad, about the trust fund corporation stepping in at the state's request to administer programs under special circumstances.
Sure.
Something.
Catch on.
Mhm.
Yep.
Would you like us to draft something and then circulate it to you, or?
Yeah, that'd be very helpful.
Okay. Item number 10 is a review of secret type 2 actions and concur summaries. Is there a request for a presentation on this item? Item number 11 is a review of the organizational chart from the Office of Storm Recovery, the Community Development Block Grant Program Disaster Recovery Action Plan, and the quarterly performance report, all supplied from the Office of Storm Recovery at the members' request at the last meeting. Item number 12 is a review of authorized contracts under the Community Development Block Grant Disaster Recovery Program. These are the executed contracts. These include 8 subrecipient agreements with local municipalities in Nassau and Suffolk counties, awarding grants to provide financial assistance to municipal governments to improve and accelerate code enforcement activities and actions. Is there a request from the board for this item? Excuse me. And the last item we have is a review of notice from the Office of Storm Recovery and Development and release of development and release of programmatic and general administrative manuals. It's the item of new business, so it was circulated in a memo to you in hard copy. Are there any remaining questions or comments from the board? Is there a motion to adjourn?
Second.
Thank you. This meeting is adjourned.
Great, thank you, guys.